remember that time when the Ghanaian president was so adamant that not under his watch will LGBTQ activities thrive in Ghana? Do you remember that time? Do you remember a time when a bill was tabled before Parliament to criminalize LGBTQ activities in Ghana? And Sam George was standing 10 toes on business saying this is the direction that Ghana is taking, and any of the external partners that is not willing to join them in this journey, they're welcome to leave Ghana. Well, that bill passed. Was it hot air or not? Because now a new administration has come into power, and the Speaker of Parliament, Alan Bagbin, says he's going to renew the fight to have that bill passed and become law.
Yes, I'm very, look, that thing, nobody should joke with me when it comes to that area. I can lose my life because of that. It's better not to live than to live in that society where man to man, woman to woman.
Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I'm a business journalist by profession and a digital content creator. I love coming on here, having conversations with you guys about Black people, Africans, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take our rightful place at the global stage. You can connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga, or be following us on the channel where I'll be posting videos more consistently. Today, I want us to talk about Ghana because the country is back in the news. The highly controversial, highly contested anti-LGBTQ bill is back in question. Let me contextualize the bill for you. This is a bill that seeks to criminalize LGBTQ people and also perceived allyship. So if you are found to be part of the LGBTQ community in a court of law, then you're likely to go to jail. If you're found to have any form of relationship, allyship, or you knew and did not report that someone was part of the LGBTQ community, there's also a penalty for that. This bill was also proposing banning of funding activities for LGBTQ organizations and communities. And this is not to defend the bill in any way. This is just to lay context for you guys to be able to understand where it was coming from. And there was a lot of pushback and there was a lot of hesitation because of this bill. This is a conversation that is not new to Ghana. Several presidents have been in power. Many of them have always been very lukewarm with this subject, saying this is not a priority for us. And that's the stance that I've seen many African presidents take. But with the Ghana's former president, he was very adamant in saying that there is no room for LGBTQ activities in Ghana. And so what happened is this bill was passed under his tenure. When it went to Parliament, actually, there was overwhelming support for it. Like, the members of Parliament voted overwhelmingly in support of it. The context here also is that Ghana is a Christian country. It's highly religious. And I don't think that some members of Parliament wanted to be seen and perceived by the church and the members of the constituencies that they represent that they were in any way condoning LGBTQ activities in Ghana, irrespective of the fact that it could be tied to greater conversations about human rights. And so this bill passed unanimously through Parliament, and it was supposed to go to the president so that he assents it to become a law. Now, in another video, I'll get into the repercussions and why this did not become a law. But what we saw is that a year went by, there was no movement with regards to this bill. And what happened is President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo left power. So on the 6th of January, technically that was his last day in office of 2025. On the 7th of January, a new president was sworn into power. And because this bill had not been assented into law under the administration in which it was passed and under the parliament with which it was passed, then it becomes null and void because that house of parliament has expired and a new set of members of parliament have come in. Some have been re-elected, but it's a new house, and that's in line with the Ghanaian constitution. And so questions have been rising about what now happens to this anti-LGBTQ law. Does it mean that it's gone with the wind? Does it mean that it will be revived? Does it mean that they're going to find a way around it? They're going to water it down? And the Speaker of Parliament, Alan Bagbin, was in Ivory Coast, and he brought this conversation up where he says that LGBTQ activities are anti-God and they're not in line with the African traditional society. They're not in line with Ghanaian family values. And so he is going to revive this bill. What he says is that he's going to write to the Attorney General and also the Minister of Justice so that this process can be fast-tracked, this bill can be taken to the President, it can be assented into law, and this will be done within a year's time, right? It's a very bold stance to take because consequences have always been there, repercussions have always been there. And also at the onset of the new administration is when you want to do this, but it looks like he is determined to push this forward. Was it just talk? We'll see. But also let's listen into an excerpt of what he had to say.
LGBT bill, it was passed by Parliament. The former president failed or refused to assent to it, which was unconstitutional. There is no law allowing a president to refuse or fail to assent to a bill passed by Parliament. Parliament is the authority on passing laws, not any other person, not president. So he was wrong. And all of you together punished him for that. I am going to write and send it to the new Attorney General and Minister for Justice for his comments for us to resend it to the new president for his assent. So it's not going to take long time. It will be passed this year. This year, we'll pass it. It is anti-God. Yes. I'm very, look, that thing, nobody should joke with me when it comes to that area. I can lose my life because of that. It's better not to live than to live in that society where man to man, woman to woman.
Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Ghana should revive this bill? Do you think that it should be taken back to Parliament, watered down, looked into, or do you think that it should just be taken to the President, assented into law, and become one of the few African countries that have been able to legislate against LGBTQ in their country in a bid or with the hopes to safeguard their family values? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.